In reality, there is only one way, as far as I'm concerned, to really improve the situation.
It's been almost a year since the 2023 Quebec ice storm that left over 1 million households without power for several days in many parts of the province. Montreal was one of the hardest hit areas because of the many downed power lines. Here in Beaconsfield on Montreal's West Island, Mayor Georges Bourelle is renewing calls to have power lines buried so that when trees or branches fall, they don't land on power lines, cutting electricity from homes and businesses.
In Beaconsfield, where we have a large, very large tree canopy, there's only one thing to do, is burying the lines. That is the way that we can provide a constant hydro service without power outage.
Bourelle says that Hydro-Quebec should start burying power lines now because with climate change, there could be more violent storms in the future.
It's going to be very expensive to do, especially after the fact, because they're going to have to dig up properties, and that's going to be a little difficult for them. However, it's great because we get a lot of power outages here, and it really is awful when we get them.
In a written statement to City News Montreal, Hydro-Quebec says they have plans to bury some power lines in the province, and they currently have an agreement with the City of Montreal to bury 4.5 kilometers of power lines a year. But there is no mention of whether West Island communities such as Beaconsfield will have any of their power lines buried. Hydro-Quebec, however, does emphasize that they are stepping up work to reduce vegetation around power lines, and their goal is to reduce the rate of power line-related outages by 30% by 2028.
I think that's very positive that Hydro-Quebec is doing this kind of work, but it's not going to prevent trees from falling down on lines.
Last year, many were without power for several days. After living through the ice storm of 1998 and several other power outages, Bourelle says he took matters into his own hands to prepare and bought a generator.
I have installed a generator at my house here, and so that I don't have a problem with power outages.
Bourelle says that the city of Beaconsfield has had meetings with Hydro-Quebec to address their concerns, and so far have had no commitment to bury any power lines.
They say that things will be done and will be addressed, but we still need to see the results.
In Montreal, Gareth Madoc-Jones, City News.